Welcome to Beyond the Surface. Before we dive into today's story, we'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude for each and every one of you. Your support means the world to us, and we love hearing from you. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. We truly appreciate the global community that has come together here. Now, let's begin. I will never forget the moment I realized that my marriage, the relationship I had invested years of my life into, was built on a foundation of deception. It wasn't a sudden, explosive revelation. No dramatic confrontation. No unexpected discovery of damning evidence. Instead, it was a small, seemingly insignificant details that eventually painted a picture too undeniable to ignore. It started with the way Victoria's eyes flickered toward her phone every few minutes during our family dinners, the way her elegantly manicured fingers trembled ever so slightly as she typed out messages she thought I wasn't paying attention to. As an architect, my profession has trained me to notice details most would overlook. I analyze spaces, detect structural weaknesses, and envision the unseen. But nothing in my years of experience prepared me for the intricate web of lies my wife had so carefully constructed around us. Victoria was a woman who exuded effortless charm. Her striking auburn hair, the poised way she carried herself, and the sharp intellect that made her a formidable presence in the marketing industry had always captivated me. Together, we built what seemed like the perfect life. A penthouse overlooking Central Park, thriving careers, and a social calendar filled with prestigious events. To outsiders, we were the embodiment of success, a power couple navigating the upper echelons of society with grace. But beneath that polished exterior lay a truth so devastating. It threatened to shatter everything we had built. The first real crack in Victoria's meticulously maintained facade appeared during one of her frequent business trips. A series of inconsistencies in her schedule gnawed at me, prompting me to review security footage from our building's lobby, a habit I had started when small irregularities in her routine became too frequent to ignore. What I found confirmed my worst fears. Late at night, long after she was supposed to be out of town, there she was, slipping out of our building with Marcus Chun, her company's charismatic creative director. Their body language spoke volumes, subtle touches, lingering glances, the kind of intimacy that couldn't be mistaken for mere professional camaraderie. A cold shiver ran down my spine despite the warm spring evening. But what made her betrayal particularly insidious was the precision with which she had orchestrated it. Victoria was always a strategist, but I had underestimated the depths of her cunning. Last Christmas, she had insisted on gifting me a high-end smartwatch, enthusiastically explaining that it would help me monitor my health. What I failed to realize at the time was that this device also allowed her to track my movements with impeccable accuracy. While I saw it as a thoughtful gesture, she had weaponized technology to ensure that her lies remained undetected. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the breadth of her deception became increasingly apparent. Hotel receipts cleverly buried within her business expenses. Coded messages disguised as professional correspondence. Late-night absences justified by last-minute client emergencies. Every detail meticulously crafted to maintain the illusion of our perfect life. I knew then that this wouldn't be a simple confrontation. Victoria had played her role too well, manipulating not just me, but everyone in our social circle. She had woven an intricate narrative of ambition, devotion, and success, a narrative that needed to be dismantled piece by piece. This wasn't just about confronting an unfaithful spouse. It was about unraveling an empire of deceit and exposing the truth in a way she could neither deny nor escape. Looking back, I wondered how I had been so blind. The signs were there, scattered throughout the years like breadcrumbs leading to an inevitable conclusion. Her sudden interest in weekend seminars at exclusive resorts always aligned with Marcus Chun's travel schedule. The so-called professional development courses turned out to be intimate gatherings at secluded retreats, accessible only by private helicopter. Hardly the standard setting for corporate training. Our daily routines had become a masterclass in misdirection. Victoria would leave for work at precisely 7:15 a.m., her designer briefcase in tow, not just carrying her work materials, but lingerie from boutiques I had never heard of. During lunch, she would send me affectionate texts claiming she missed me, while her fitness tracker placed her at a members-only club downtown. The evenings were even more calculated. Dinners at upscale restaurants, followed by so-called networking events, while her credit card statements revealed charges for luxury hotel suites booked under aliases. The deception was surgical in its execution. Even their communication was encrypted, conducted through coded phrases that would sound innocuous to an outsider. Discussing new campaign strategies meant meeting at the rooftop bar of the Peninsula Hotel. Reviewing quarterly projections translated to spending the night at Marcus's private penthouse in Tribeca. And yet, the most painful part wasn't just the betrayal itself. It was the fact that she had continued to play the role of the devoted wife with such seamless conviction. She wore the diamond bracelet I had given her for our anniversary, letting it catch the light during board meetings where Marcus sat just across the table. At charity galas, she proudly introduced me to her colleagues while exchanging whispered words with him behind marble columns. Perhaps most disturbingly, Victoria had infiltrated our social circle, cultivating friendships with executives' wives, not out of genuine connection, but to gather information. These unsuspecting women, charmed by her grace and ambition, unknowingly provided her with alibis. Meanwhile, Marcus had been equally adept at misleading his wife, Eleanor, painting Victoria as nothing more than a driven colleague in need of guidance. The depth of their conspiracy became undeniable when I uncovered a shared cloud storage folder between them, disguised as marketing collateral. Within it was an archive of their affair, detailed itineraries of their trysts, photographs from their secret getaways, and even a spreadsheet outlining potential risks to their deception. Most damning of all were voice memos, in which they strategized not just their affair, but their career advancements, treating their illicit relationship like a corporate merger rather than a betrayal of their spouses. Sitting in my office, surrounded by blueprints of the skyscrapers I had designed, I realized that if Victoria had meticulously planned her betrayal like an architect, then I would craft my revenge with the same precision. This would not be an impulsive confrontation. No shouting match. No scene. Instead, I would build my response with the same careful calculation that had earned me accolades in my profession. Victoria thought she was playing chess while everyone else moved like pawns. But she had underestimated the power of patience, strategy, and execution. She had constructed a world of illusion. I would be the one to bring it crashing down. And that is just the beginning of this unraveling tale. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we delve into how the plan for retribution took shape, and the moment Victoria's perfectly curated empire of deceit came face to face with an architect who understood the power of design, both in buildings and in justice.